In order to keep workers safe and maintain production and business amid the complicated developments of the COVID-19 epidemic, Vinh Phuc Provincial Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention and Control has instructed the Provincial Management Board of Industrial Parks, branches and local agencies to organize a drill for emergency response to COVID-19 infection cases at enterprises. The drill aims to improve the leadership capacity and practice of COVID-19 prevention and control measures at enterprises in line with the 4 on the spot motto. It also aims at assessing the problem-solving skill and helping agencies, local government and businesses improve their professional skills and gain more practical experience in preventing and controlling the epidemic, alongside with managing and maintaining business operations. Emergency response to COVID-19 cases at an enterprise in operation. The hypothetical situation at Enterprise C, an FDI enterprise in operation. At 8 o'clock in Workshop B, which operates relatively independently from other workshops, 300 employees are working. Worker A shows signs of fever and coughing, and a notification from a medical facility arrives, reading that the worker has been in close contact with a person tested positive for SARS-CoV-2. Worker A is at high risk of infection, but has not been tested to confirm the infection. In the hypothetical situation, Worker A is considered as a case of infection to long test. After receiving the notification from a medical facility, Worker A phoned the leader of Workshop B to say that he had been in close contact with a positive case. Worker A also calls family right away and tells them to report to the local authorities in the residential area to monitor quarantine and medical declaration. Leader of Workshop B calls the enterprise's human resource manager to report the case of Worker A. After receiving information from the leader of Workshop B, the human resource manager calls the enterprise's health division to immediately take Worker A to the medical isolation room at the enterprise, following a separate way to avoid contact with other people in the business. The human resource manager phones the business leader to report that Worker A is suspected of being positive for COVID-19, calls the head of the Management Board of Industrial Parks, the director of District Health Center, the district-level steering committee for epidemic prevention and control, and the investor of the industrial park infrastructure to inform that Worker A is suspected of being positive for COVID-19. Phones the Worker A's relatives and the authorities in the area where Worker A resides to promptly isolate medically, make medical declarations and trace contacts. The top leader of the enterprise makes phone calls to departments at the enterprise and instructs them to treat Worker A as a COVID-19 positive case and immediately activate planned response to the COVID-19 epidemic when an infected case is reported at the enterprise. Orders to temporarily block the entire enterprise, allowing no exit or entry, 100% of staff and employees to remain in their positions and security guards to close the gate. Orders to suspend operation of Workshop B where Worker A works. Orders departments to follow the 4 on the spot motto, requesting all departments to prepare enough facilities to prevent and control the COVID-19 epidemic according to the enterprise's 4 on the spot motto. Urges all workers at the enterprise to stay calm, rest assured and remain in their working positions. The industrial park infrastructure investor informs all businesses operating in the industrial park about Worker A suspected of being positive and directs the businesses to take preventive measures. After receiving the report from the enterprise, the director of the District Health Center shall call and report to the chairperson of the District People's Committee, head of the District Steering Committee. Chairman of District People's Committee, head of District Steering Committee orders temporary blockade of the enterprise. The Chairman of the District People's Committee, head of District Steering Committee requests District Public Security and District Military Commands to appoint 5 people each, and commune authorities to assign 20 people to set up temporary checkpoints outside the enterprise's gate. The director of the district health center dispatches a quick response team in a special vehicle to the enterprise to pick up worker A to the district's COVID-19 treatment facility. Prepares an area in the isolation monitoring room of the district health center to receive worker A and conduct RT-PCR test. Chairperson of the District People's Committee, head of the District Steering Committee dispatches a working group consisting of 5 medical workers, 5 police officers and other members to enterprise to jointly trace F1 and F2 cases. Assigns the District Health Center to contact the Provincial Military Command to isolate F1. Chairman of the District People's Committee, head of the District Steering Committee, Management Board of Industrial Parks report to Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee and Provincial Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention and Control on the situation at the enterprise, where the suspected COVID-19 positive case is reported. The Human Resource Manager of the enterprise arranges enough drinks and meals for all employees while waiting for the test results. Trash cans to contain used masks and disinfectant solution for 100% of the people present at the enterprise and requires them to follow the 5K message. Human Resource Department and COVID-19 team of the enterprise calls to request those who are not present at the enterprise and worker A's family members to stay put and follow 5K message and keeps medical staff updated about the health situation of worker A and other people. List detailed personal information of employees who are present at the enterprise and F1, F2 cases. Informs the local authorities about F1 cases to quarantine. Make medical declaration and trace. Has workshops to keep a safe distance from F2 cases. Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, head of the Provincial Steering Committee, directs to send medical staff and the Provincial Military Command to assist the District Steering Committee for Epidemic Prevention and Control in taking samples and testing F2 workers at the enterprise. Directs the Department of Transport to prepare a sufficient number of vehicles to transport F1 workers to medical isolation facilities. Directs the Provincial Military Command to prepare medical isolation facilities. Provincial Public Security Force and Provincial Center for Disease Control coordinate with the business to identify F1, F2 and have an isolation plan. Instruct the business to list personal information of F1, F2 cases. District People's Committee approves the list of all workers of Workshop B to be isolated in isolation facilities and those who are exposed to F1 cases. Provincial Public Security, Provincial Center for Disease Control inform local public security force and authorities about F1 cases to make medical declaration and trace. The steering committees of the areas related to worker A and F1 cases quickly trace and have related cases isolated according to regulations. The Department of Transport arranges vehicles to transport F1 workers to the designated medical isolation areas. The District People's Committee directs the District Health Center to spray disinfectant at Workshop B and the risky areas at the enterprise that may be exposed to worker A. The Department of Health directs the Provincial Center for Disease Control. Medical staff take samples of F1 workers for testing right after they enter the medical isolation area. The Director of the Provincial Center for Disease Control announced the rapid test results to F1. After F2 cases received negative test results notified by the District People's Committee, the enterprise lets F2 cases to return to residential areas to home quarantine. Top leaders of the enterprise directs its departments to notify relevant units within the enterprise that F2 cases will return to their residential areas to home quarantine in accordance with 5K regulations. Notifies local authorities that F2 cases return to their residential areas so that the authorities can monitor the home quarantined people according to the 5K regulations. District Public Security, Director of District Health Center notify local public security, authorities and health center that F2 cases return to their residential areas for medical monitoring at home in accordance with 5K regulations. Director of the Provincial Center for Disease Control announces the test results indicating that worker A is positive for COVID-19. Chairperson of the District People's Committee and head of the District Steering Committee decide to block the enterprise. The District People's Committee directs the District Health Center to maintain forces at the quarantine area until the end of the prescribed time. Above is the procedure for handling emergency situations when COVID-19 cases are reported in an enterprise in Vinh Phuc province. Vinh Phuc is determined to win its war against COVID-19.